Hey, what's up, comic book fans? Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And guys, you're with me, Mike Spider Slayer. Guys, today we're going to be talking about The Dark Knight, issue 23.4, otherwise known as The Joker's Daughter. Before we get to this review, I just want to give you guys a quick update. Road to Comic of the Year grouping number 2 is up. I have had a decent response from it for votes already. If you guys want to check that out, please vote for your favorite comic book to possibly get nominated for Comic of the Year. So I'm going to leave an annotation up top of this video right here. And again, please vote. There's 6 books this week that could be possibly nominated for Comic of the Year. So put your input in, please. And thank you for last week's vote. A lot of people vote. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start this review on The Joker's Daughter, issue number 1. Now, this book had lots of hype because of its 3D cover and going for over $100 on eBay, and it's very rare to get into the stores because it's The Joker's Daughter. So the cover is worth all that hype and all that value, but was the story really worth it though? Let me just say, I don't know. It's not that good, guys. So hopefully, if you did get this 3D cover, sell it. That's all I can say. Get your money and sell it. Because this issue was weak. Really weak. First off, it's written by Ann Nocenti, and our artist is Georges Jeanty. The artwork here is sloppy. I didn't like it. It could be better. Body portions are disproportionate. Somehow we can just have facial expressions with no real detail, eyes not being shown, disproportionate body parts, and a little girl who can jump through the air like Robin, unrealistic because she's got no superpowers whatsoever. Just really not a realistic type of villain here. I felt that DC is really scraping at the bottom of the barrel for this book. Here's the last page here where she's sitting on what is a throne and she's looking up, and it just doesn't look right whatsoever. So the art was maybe average, if best. So what is the story? What was it about? Well, the first thing we see is we get to see our character here, which it's the Joker's daughter. You have to know that. Because she's in a hooded thing. You don't see her face. You really don't see her face at all. You get to see her little mangly cat that's got one eyeball, and the cat found this underwater reservoir that Gotham had. And she doesn't want to be part of Gotham anymore. She wants to be this underground world that's the reservoir now. And it's this underground world called the Nethers. And she blows up this mask, or this float, this Hungry Hungry Hippo float, and she uses it as an air device to breathe. And she puts her cat in a backpack so he can breathe. And you get to see that here. Look at this. He's in a backpack. And she has this wooden staff, and she grabs this little crescent thing. And I'm like, okay. And she finds this underwater place, and right away she wants to claim it her own. She's like, I want this place to be mine. I want the females and this and that. But she goes to this place where it's called the Nethers, and they have like this own underground living. It's like, I don't know if it was like Patience from Arkham or whatever it was from a mental institute, but there's these society that lives under here. Like, why would you want to live under there? And so as soon as she gets to her destination, she goes and she finds none other than the Joker's mask. And you're like, okay, like, that's kind of gross. The Joker's been gone for how long now? And like, he wore that thing for how long? And this thing is still together. It's flesh. It deteriorates in time. But somehow she winds up putting it on. And she's like, I'm going to rule this place because the Joker's face has got power. And you're like, okay. And it all has to do with this woman ruling men type of deal. And she goes after all these people, and she winds up using hot coal or whatever it is on her little staff. and she makes marks of like big smiles like the Joker did, and she's like, "Find me your leader." And you find this guy who's this leader who wears pennies for a coat. Like, who wears pennies? Who wears pennies for a coat? So he's wearing pennies for the coat, and he's just like this preppy looking guy, and he's like, she goes to beat the crap out of him, and he's like, "Oh, I'll forgive you. You know, you need help," and blah blah blah. And then what gives this book somewhat of a saving grace is you learn the backstory of our character Dula, and that's her name, and you get to see her upbringing here. Now, if the issue had more of this, I would have loved to see it. I would have loved to see more of this newer character. I mean, she's been around in the 70s, but I would have loved to see this updated character get more of an origin tale and lead into a different story than this. You get to realize that she's just off, that she's crazy, and that's the way she was born into this world. There's no way to explain it. There's nothing that drove her this way. She doesn't have superpowers. She's just disturbed. When she was a little girl, she trapped spiders in light bulbs. She hung knives over her what is it called? I forget. Mobile. She winds up getting the ugliest dog she can, and she winds up getting plastic surgery on herself to change her face, and it's just a weird upbringing, which I found that was interesting. But in the end, all she wants to do here is she wants to rule this nether world, and she beats up the guy Sharon with the pennycoat and says, "Oh, I'm in control," and you get this. And then, of all things, this is what tells you the level this book is on, is it leads into Catwoman issue number 24. That just says it all right there. It's so good, it continues in Catwoman. Man, oh man. Guys, if you can sell the 3D cover, if you have it, sell it. Because if I had this in 3D, I would sell it. There's no worth hanging on to this book for story purpose. It doesn't add anything to it, and it doesn't tie into Forever Evil. Again, DC's scratching at the bottom of the barrel for villains here. This was just atrocious book. Art wasn't that great. Just really digging to a connection with the Joker in any way possible, shape, or form. It doesn't have to do with, she doesn't have superpowers. It's not even a real origin story. She's just a crazy little bitch. That's all she is. So this is a disappointment. I'm giving this one a 2 out of 5. Again, being that she was crazy and disturbed was nice, but I would love to see something different here. Start her off as a little girl. Start the story off that way. Lead her up until she gets older. Show her murdering some people. Make her like a Joker-like character. Do something else. This was a stretch. Going to the bottom of Arkham? Come on. Thank God this one's out of the way. But guys, again, sell it if you can. So 2 out of 5 for me. And guys, as always, thank you for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. And I'll see you guys on the next comic book review. Take care, everyone. Bye.